Hello everyone, Ben Williams out here with Whitetail Properties, 100 Proof Whitetails podcast, and I'm bringing back my Wednesday Weed of the Weeks. And I think what better way to bring it back than with one of my first plants I featured on these Weed of the Week episodes. Now I'm going to put these on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all those social media platforms. So wherever you're following, let me know, and let me know what weeds you might see and want to know what they are and what benefit they have to wildlife. This is one of my favorite ones right here. This is Pokeweed. Pokeweed is very high in protein content. This one's right in my yard, and you can see the deer are browsing it right here. I'm just adjacent to our horse barn here at our property that we own here in Ontario County. Beautiful plant, great native species. Like I said, tons of protein. You're almost pushing 30+% protein with this. Great native forage. Can be toxic to plant or to pets and humans. So if you're gonna look into eating it, I would strongly advise you to look at the care and the process with that. But this is a great native forb. You see this in a lot of times. I'm gonna pick one of the seed clusters off. Now, you can get dyes from this. Once these seeds set, they look kind of like little green pumpkins right now. Have little white flowers that are kind of here. You can see them on the tip of that. Then they kind of turn to little green pumpkins, and they turn into a dark purple berry. Very, very reddish stem, kind of translucent. Big, broad, lanceolate shaped leaves on this plant. And you see this growing in disturbed areas, possibly after a timber harvest, edge of some of your food plots, stuff like that. Very easy to control and maintain if it is out of control. However, I'm not targeting this plant. I'm targeting more invasive species on my property. This one is a native broadleaf. You can kill it with glyphosate, 2,4-D, any of those kind of chemicals. But other than that, it's a great wildlife plant. The birds really like to eat the berries. The deer really like to browse on it. It's high protein content. It's a really good native forb to have on your property. So here we go, guys. I'll give you a nice up close and personal look. But look at the deer browse on this right here in my yard. I mean, we are just a stone's throw from the little back swamp that's on the neighboring property, but get you a little closer view. I did just take down this red pine I had it growing out here by the barn, and it kind of opened up some more sunlight, so we're gonna have some sunlight for our apple trees and stuff like that. So like I said, reddish purple stalk, pretty easily distinguishable, big lanceolate shaped leaves. You're typically going to see a lot of browse pressure on this out in the wild. Again, here's some really good indication. Here's some really good showings of those white flowers with little green centers, and they kind of turn, like I said, into those little green pumpkins, and then into those dark purple berries. Now you typically see that in late July, but this is a great plant, great native forb. I like it a lot. Pokeweed is one of my favorites, one of the first I learned, and when I learned you can get 30+% protein out of some native habitat with just a little bit of soil disturbance and a lot of sunlight, or just a little bit of sunlight. You see this after timber harvest, like I said, food plot edges, disturbed areas. You see it a lot of times with that. Birds are typically your main vector for the seeds to be transplanted across your property. It's probably what was happening here. They were in this pine tree, they were pooping and dropping the seeds right here on this. So I do have some more out back. I have some along my pasture fence and stuff like that. And some of the disturbed areas in the pasture, I did have that as well. So Pokeweed, great native forb. If there is a plant you guys want to see featured on this Weed of the Week, we're going to do kind of a very general overview of it, and then we're going to do kind of a little bit more of a deep dive into some of these other plants as we get into non-desirable non-natives, or maybe not desirable native species either, and kind of what you can do to control them if you see them. We'll probably go, you know, every week for Wednesday Weed of the Week, and we're going to bring back our food plot and forestry Fridays as well, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, let us know in the comments below if you've seen pokeweed on your property, or if you have a weed that you can't identify. We'd love to identify it for you here on these video series and bring it to you with the practical uses for you on your property. And if it's a good one, or one that maybe we should get rid of, doesn't have to be sprayed. Sometimes we can cut them and mow them. All right, guys, Ben Williams with Whitetail Properties and 100 Proof Whitetails Podcast, and I will catch you guys all next time here in the field. Take care, guys. Be safe.